Hello, my friends. Thanks for coming. We're going to be talking about opposites today. I asked once, why does evil exist? And the answer came in 1987 that evil exists as the equal and opposite force which must exist to drive the evolution of all that is. So I've been thinking a lot about these opposite forces. And, I've mentioned things like heat, cold, positive and negative. We have words that are slightly biased in our way of thinking because the universe is actually neutral. We're just little glints of awareness participating in the evolution and expansion of all that is. And humans are the only species here that are embodied with the ability to create and destroy. So in universe, there are other species that fulfill this role of destruction versus creativity. And then it occurred to me there's another opposite that I wanted to talk about, which has never really come to my attention or imagination. Again, in 1987, 88, my mother-in-law said that people, or because we are talking about people, obviously, humans are unlimited beings. We can absolutely do, have, think anything we want to here. Well, I always related to that. In my work with the deceased, that is how their reality is created because it doesn't seem to be informed from the outside. It's only informed from the inside when you're in spirit, but then we're in spirit now. And that is a gift of the Bashar teachings. We are in spirit now. And so if we can have, do, think anything we want to, why does it seem so difficult here? And I'll tell you why. It comes into another one of my meditations where these little glints of awareness participating in the expansion and evolution and completion of all that is, that's what we are. And in this participation, we are confined and contained within more congealed energy, which we can also think of as density, because in other dimensions of the world of spirit are different densities. So we're in a particular gradient, if you will, of density here. And when an expression leaves source and moves out into evolution with everything that agrees to participate in the unfolding of all that is, at some point, the energy congeals. And when the energy congeals, that is the completion. And then there is an explosion, if you will, like the stars explode. And there are other expansions, other beings that are participating in the evolution of that expansion. And so this is eternal. It's an eternal process, and it happens, we think of it happening linearly from source to our soul to earth. But actually, these different evolutions are happening all over universe. Okay. So the opposite that we're dealing with now is to understand that we are still unlimited beings in this confining and defining kind of density. And then I want to talk a little bit about another opposite that's been a part of my life lately. I've had as you know, I'm incredibly sensitive and an empath, as most of you are. I'm sure you wouldn't be here. And I've been dealing with and I hate the label, but a malignant narcissist. I mean, that's the only description that any of you are going to understand. And she's out for all she can get. She will stop at nothing. She just takes over your life. And those might appear to be negative things. Well, at least they seem to be negative things in our life. Because she wouldn't even knock. She would walk right into our house anytime, day or night. I mean, nobody does that, right? And so I had to rinse and repeat my understanding, because I can't change her. I can't fix her. I can't help her. Even from a very neutral, compassionate viewpoint, there's really nothing I can do. But why is there the opposite of users who express what we would think of, like in our government, as evil right now, in the way that their decisions are impacting lives? And empaths, overly sensitive. I honestly don't think one is better than the other. They are equal and opposite, and both have to exist to drive the evolution of humanity. And that's what my mother-in-law meant when she said, you are unlimited beings, but you are not ready to know that yet on this planet. Some of us do know that. Some of us do understand that it really goes beyond the law of attraction. It goes to the very spiritual nature that we are. And maybe I'll do another video on that at some point. But so these opposites, they have to exist. And excuse me for a second, I'm going to look over at, oh yes, I knew there was another point I wanted to make. Because we use words like good and evil, heat and cold, creative, destructive. Those words actually assign narcissist impact. Those words assign a sort of value to one aspect or the other. But actually, both have to exist. So understanding that this evolution, that this expansion itself is neutral, right? Because it is neutral. You know, the universe is neutral. It doesn't have an opinion. It doesn't see the words the way we do. It doesn't have words the way we do, that something is judged good or bad. What's happening in the American government is going to drive the exact opposite. And hopefully this will be a worldwide movement. But I'm not going to be around to see that in this density. Anyway, it's all neutral. And that's what I meant by staying in a neutral, observing position, which is very Buddhist. However, in this unlimited energy that we have, we can create what we prefer. The word prefer is amazing. I love that word because it doesn't have a value judgment on it. It's simply, as individuals, what did we come here to do? What did we come here to express? What did we come here? And so as we're on our path, we can choose things that we prefer. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. You know, I'm sorry for the gap in the videos, but we've had an awful lot going on. So until I see you again, my friends, please be well and please, oh dear, I don't have glasses on. I can't see how to stop it. uh, please be well, my friends, and please be blessed.